set off doing the reseating project on my E36 Compact, an accidental purchase that you've possibly seen before. But the seats I bought have got heated seats in them, so I thought I'd pull this out and do it as a separate video. I'll mention it in the video when I'm fitting the seats, but I'm not sure yet whether this will work. If it doesn't work, I may put the video out anyway and tell you why not. If it does work, you'll definitely be seeing this. I'm not sure what E36 the heated seat switches came out of, but I actually got these switches from Greece, not a place you think would need heated seats, and they're not that easy to get hold of. The wiring is fairly simple. You've got two red and yellows which are both power into this switch. Not sure why there's two of them. In the wiring scheme they all join together, so I'm just going to join them two together. You've got a grey and red which lights up that little symbol there when it's powered, so I'm going to put that to the electric window switches so that when they light up, this one lights up. Since the next door seems a reasonable idea. They've got a brown which is an earth, and I think brown is pretty much the standard earth on BMWs. And then there's two wires, and on the wiring scheme I can find, one's white and red, one's white and green, but I've got white and yellow and white and blue. And one's for the seat squab heater and one's for the seat back heater. Now I'd have thought these would have been thicker wires than they are, so there can't be a massive current going through here. And there's two settings. There's a lower setting and a higher setting, and everything's controlled from within here with, I think, resistors. So it should be fairly simple. All I need to do is put power to that, power to them from the electric seat lights, earth that, power one of the heating elements in the seats, the back say, with that one, the squab with that one, and at the other end of the heating element, put it to earth. And that should just work. That'd be amazing, won't it? These two are the wires that are marked height song, and one's for the squab, one's for the back. Now I think this one's for the back, and it's got a green and purple, green and turquoise, a brown, and it's got a grey wire as well. It's got three. And I think this one's for the squab, and that's just got a green and turquoise and a brown. So the brown's the earth, so I'll connect the power from the switch to that side and the other side to earth. Now with that one, I'm not sure what the grey wire is, so I'll need to find out about that. And it's not actually clear. No, I thought there might have been a different colour as well. So I'll find out what the grey wire is, but failing anything else, I'll connect the power to the green and turquoise, the earth to the brown, and they should have heating. All I need to do now is make a loom. So I'm not 100% sure all this is going to work. So what I've actually done is I've done a rough wiring diagram for what I intend. Now, laughably, I did see that the loom for all this for an E36 is available online, and looking at the amount of wire BMW put in, my wiring diagram looks laughable. I've also got the issue, I'm not sure if the power coming out of this switch will work with these heating pads. I suspect they will, but I'm not 100% sure. So what I intend to do is put connectors onto here, and I'm going to use these waterproof motorcycle ones because dangling underneath the seat you never know what water gets there. I'm going to put some connectors onto here. This is the switch, these are the seat pads, and put it together, connect it to a battery, see if it works. And I'm going to do it in such a way that I can put these longer lengths in afterwards, so that when I fit it into the car I can just plug and play, so to speak, so that all of the connectors are already sorted. It's just a case of the wiring in between. That's the plan anyway. But I'm going to start off with these connectors. I've never used them before. I bought them for my bike project, but I think this would be a good use. I'm going to put them so that these are connected through this. Now the eagle-eyed amongst you may notice that there's an extra wire on this one, which I believe is the seat back, and it's a grey one. Now I'm guessing, because I can't find a wiring diagram for this, that might be a sensor or a take-up to say how hot the seat has got. I'm not sure. I'm not going to use that wire at the moment because I'm confident the other one is the earth and the power. We'll see how it goes. There are quite a few bits to these waterproof connectors. There's the male end, which goes into the bigger part and sticks through, and then there's the female one, which goes into the smaller part. It's got a seal here, and it has seals for the wires. Now, both of these work pretty much the same in that you've got the bit that connects, you've got the bit that you connect the bare wire to, and then you've got these wings here which actually connect to the plastic but also to the waterproofing little grommet things. Right? So this could be a bit fiddly to put together. So I'm going to do this end first before I cut these wires, so that I've got some practice with this, and then I'll have a go at the other. Oh, I've also missed out. They have some kind of retainer that goes on the front of here to keep its teeth in place. Not as nice as one I've seen advertised on the internet, so we'll use them as well. Well, it looked good at first, but I've realised that I've made a fundamental mistake, and I've seen other people who've been describing these having an issue with this. I've crimped these little wings here down, and those little wings actually hold it into the connector. So although it looks great, in reality that would make it not work properly. So I'm probably going to have to use a different crimp tool, which is a shame because I really like that crimp tool, but I'm sure I'll get around it. I think that'll do it. Now that you can see those little wings there are not damaged at all. So I think that's going to be good. I'll have to redo that one. Right, let's get the other ones done. You look through, there's like a little catch at the bottom, and I believe that these go in that way, so that the little catch stops it pulling back. And the waterproof grommet has gone in there, but that's as good as I can do, I think. So I'm going to do the rest of them now. And the final bit of this is the little tooth retainer. So that goes in there so that it stops the little catches coming undone. So that's that side done, and I'm quite pleased. I know you can say, why have you got these short wires here, but I'm intending to join those two and then join those two onto a longer loom eventually, but we'll see how that works out. I've left these short because I'm intending to eventually connect them to a much longer loom, either with solder joints or something like that, those solder sleeves. But at the moment I'm just going to bare the wires and use them as they are. So the next thing to do is to connect up the two purple or green and purple and brown wires so that they match up to these ones, using the male connectors, the little waterproof grommets into the male connector. So I'll do that, and anything that's interesting I'll show you. I would have liked to de-pin these, but I'm going to have to cut the wires anyway. I hate cutting genuine parts off. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to cut these here and keep these for a while. I could always put them back together with solder sleeves. No turning back. So the males went on exactly the same, and they have two little wings there that you have to be careful with. And then when you're putting them in, the little wings go to the side where the catch is. Now, pull that one out. They are a bit fiddlier. Typical. I'm going to try and put two in at once. They are a bit fiddlier, and you do have to get them lined up. But once they are, you can see them. I've got that one coming through there. Might need to just fiddle a bit with the other one. It took a bit of finagling and some pointed pliers to pull them through, and screwdriver at the back to push them, and we've got there. Quite happy with that. And that's got one of those retainer things in as well. I thought you might have to push it, but it seems like it's just in place. Looking good so far, and solid. So these will only go in one way, and there are slight little ramps to guide them in. So the locking bit's on this side, and let's see whether we can do this. Oh, there's also plastic guides to make sure that they go in the right place. I haven't found that right place yet. There we go. So I've now got a waterproof connector here, and as I say, I'm expecting to merge these with a solder sleeve and connect them into the wiring further on. But for now, let's just check that I have got a connection through there. This side should be go down to 0. And it does. And this side should go down to 0. For the switch connectors, I'm going to use these simple block connectors, and I'm planning at the moment to merge these two power wires together, so I've actually got 3 on the switch and power to the switch side, and these two, one goes to the backrest and one goes to the squab, so I'm not sure why I don't merge those together now. However, thinking about it, that might end up putting too much power through one part of the switch, so I might actually do those as 2 separate things, one to the back, one to the I'm not 100% sure now, but I'll make my mind up on that again. You do need to look in the comments, because someone who knows a lot more about electrics than me will probably throw in their hands up in their horror saying why I shouldn't do this, but it just looks like it should work, and things I've done before have worked, so give it a go. These connectors are much simpler. The tab that holds it back into the connector is actually on the back of this part, so it is basically get the wire. I can use my favourite crimping tool. Lovely. A lot easier to put on, and basically that just slides into the back of here and catches in. So let's get the other ones on. Lovely. I think that'll be absolutely fine. So with this type, the connector goes through that way, and you can see there's the little bit where the tab side is, so you can actually untab them. So it wants to go in like that. And you feel it click in. Put the power on one side, the earth on the other. And the cabin light in the middle. So there we go, absolutely fantastic. And if I needed to deepin them, I can just put a little probe down the sides here to just flip the tab and pull them out. And there we go, both of them ready for use. I've put the connectors on, and what I've done is this very dodgy wiring that I've done here. It's laughable really, I'll give you a bit of a look in a second. I've connected it together so I can connect it up to a battery. I have the earths going to the earth together. I've got the power coming from the power. I've got the switch connected up to the two separate ones on the back. I've got the earth going back there. What I intend to do, I'm going to measure the temperature on the squab and on the back, and then I'm going to turn it on to the bottom level, give it 5 minutes. I'm going to check the voltage, see if there's any voltage drop on here, see what voltage draw it might be taking. I'm also going to measure the temperatures on the seat squab. I don't know what's going to happen, it's a bit of an experiment, hopefully it'll work. 10.6 on the back and 10.6 on the seat. Let's see if we can warm them up. I really do recommend you don't try this at home. I've got the wires connected here with some crocodile clips. I've got a whole variety of wires leading to the battery, and I've plugged it all together. It's not burst into flames yet, so next thing I'm going to do is turn the switch on. Here we go. So that's 5 minutes. Turn that off now, and the temperature on that now is, well, not equally, but 13.6 on that one and 13.2 on that one. So it definitely has warmed up. Now let's try the hotter setting. The light's gone out. Oh, the light's come on. Now that's flashing for some reason. That's interesting. I'll have to look in the manual and see what that means. The light's flashing on and off. But I'll see what the temperature does. Maybe it's warning me about to catch fire. Well, that light's been flashing for 5 minutes. Let's see what the temperature is like now on the seats. They started off at 10.6. They were 12.4 or 12.4 or so when I set them back off. Let's see what it is now. 16.8. The background temperature in here is about 11 or 12 degrees. Ooh, comfy bum warm. Well, it looks like that works. I'm very encouraged by that. I know it's a bit Heath Robinson the way I've wired it, but I increased the temperature on the seats from 10.6 to I think it was 13 point something on the one setting, and then when I put it over 5 minutes, and then when I took it from there to the number 2 setting where there's 3 lights but it flashes on and off, and I'll have to look in the user manual why it would do that, they went up to about 17 degrees or just under in 5 minutes. So I think that actually means they're going to work, so I'm quite excited. I measured the voltage on the battery. It started at 12.7. After the 2 5-minute sessions, the voltage on the battery is 12.3. So it has obviously used some power from the battery, but doesn't seem horrific that. I need to make the loom now and make sure that I can fit them in. Took a little break while I was waiting to get all the parts together. And what I've done is I bought 5 meters of 21 gauge 1.5mm wire of 4 different colours. So what I intend to do is I'm going to make a loom for one of these so that I can connect it to, say, the driver's seat and see if it all works. I've already identified in the car that I can take the power from the cigarette lighter at the front in the front console, but rather than start cutting wires in the car, I'm going to make the loom, and I'm probably going to put the power connector as a cigarette lighter connector for now, just to check that it all does work and doesn't set the car on fire. I don't want to waste a lot of time on taking consoles out and such like if it turns out it doesn't work. So I'll make the loom, we'll get to the car, which will be a bit of a surprise because we've done quite a bit to that in the meantime, and we'll get it plugged in and we'll see if it actually works. If it does, then I'll do permanent wiring in the future, but let's get this loom made. That's how I've put it together as it stands. This will plug into the socket that I've already put on the chair that connects to the heating elements. The greens are the power, which come from the switch. I'll have to find an earth in the car, but I'm pretty sure I can find that and just tighten that to a screw for now. So that's that side done. I've checked it, it all works. To actually power it, I've decided to go off the cigarette lighter, where eventually I'm hoping to take the power from anyway. But I've put one of these on a connector. Its positive comes in at the middle, return, the negative is on the outside. So I can plug that in, use the switch, and if that's connected to the chair, it should start to heat up, or not, as the case may be. I'm not going to worry about the lighting it with the interior lights at the moment. I suspect I can take that off the power of the electric window switches, so I'll connect that up at some point in the future. So I can plug this in. It's not intrusive into anything that's with the car. I'm not going to damage anything with it, and it should work. And if it does, then I'll look at wiring it in permanently with this connected properly. Brought my loom to the car, and I'm going to have a quick look under the seat, and we'll get it plugged in with this one. There's a socket already there for it. But before I do, might make sense, let's see how hot or cold the seats are at the moment. So it's saying 12.7. And oh, the base is a little bit warmer, 13. That's what the car is at naturally. Let's get it plugged in and see whether it warms up. I had to just undo the 4 bolts that hold down the seat so that I can get at it, and should just be able to plug this in. Look at that. Okay, so for now I think I'm going to run this wire just over the top here so it doesn't get caught as the seat's going back and forth. Everything else looks fine. I'll put the seat back down now. So that's the 2, goes onto there. And this one's the 3, goes onto there. I think I might earth these to the actual strip that's around the cigarette lighter, because that'll be pretty easy, and plug that in at the same time, so I've got an earth on there, and then the switch should be working. I've got into the car, and just for now I'm going to put them on the side of there because that should give it a nice earth, and I'm going to push this in, he says. Oh, light on as well. Let's have a look at the switch. So, if I press that one, I should now be on. The seat's warming up. Now obviously they don't heat instantly, either that or you'd be cooking on them. So what I'll do is I'll leave it for 5 minutes or so, and we'll see if they've warmed up. They've only been going for about 3 or 4 minutes now, but I can actually feel the warmth in the seats. And using the gun, that's now reading 19.7, 20.6, 21.3, 19.3. So a variety of temperatures, but they're all a lot warmer than they were. It's very remiss of me, but I haven't actually even looked at the owner's manual about how these switches should work yet. What I have found is if I put it onto one, it seems to put it to a reasonably constant setting at around about the 19-20 degrees on the seat surface. When I put it onto 3, it flashes on and off. Now I think it might be that it's putting extra heat in, or it's pulsing, phasing it. The seats, I've measured them and they do get up to about 27, but then I found after a while that light will switch off and this one will switch back on. So I'm wondering if in the owner's manual it might tell me that once it's heated to a certain level it goes to a maintenance level. I'm really not sure. Put something in the comments, but hopefully by then I will have looked in the owner's manual. That having been said, it seems to be a success. All I need to worry about now is how I actually put the wiring in properly so it's a permanent installation. Obviously these are E36 switches and they will fit in these handy little places here. It's quite easy to get to them. All you need to do is, there's 2 clips on either side of this, so you find the clips and pull that out. There's a bit of padding. I'll whip the padding out and literally the switch just goes into there. Now the other thing that's of interest is this console is held in with a couple of screws here and some at the front, which I'm going to end up taking out. I'll show you a picture of where I'm taking the power and the earth from, which I'll be doing inside. I'm not actually going to fit them at this moment. I'm going to leave that until we're doing some work with the seats and the carpet, which we're expecting to do, so I can route it all really nicely. As soon as we get towards the winter though, and we're in the autumn at the moment, I'll make sure I've got that part of the job done. Anyway, thanks for watching. I think I've given you enough that if you were doing this job, you could do it yourself. We do lots of different things, but at this moment we're making a massive transformation to this car. So why not subscribe, see what else we're doing. You might notice that at the start of this video the car's red, and there appears to be the odd bit of green here. That's interesting. Maybe you should have a look.